Hello, thank you so much for the interview today. I wanted to create this video because I realized that it's maybe hard for us to all get together again in the same room. This video is a presentation I put together in lieu of a formal interview for the CPA business program interview. And so this is my proposal for the relaunching of this business program, and this is my vision for that relaunch. So my vision for this relaunch is that we build a program that creates a pipeline of entrepreneurial-minded students to our best companies in Minnesota. And like we talked about today, there are 20 Fortune 500 companies in Minnesota, and I want to create a pipeline from St. Paul Public Schools directly to these companies because I know the great work that is being done in these companies, and I want our students to be a part of the great work that is being done here. And so I'm a strong advocate for that, and I want to create that pipeline that gets them here. Now, the pipeline that I see is here. Let's start backwards. Here are those 20 Fortune 500 companies. They pull from competitive undergraduate business programs. Now, they also pull from engineering programs and all sorts of different places, but this is a business program that I'm going to be teaching. So we're talking about competitive business programs. Well, here is the formula to get into competitive business programs. Students need to have an awareness of the global impact of corporations. They need to have a passion for a business niche within all the vastness of all that corporations do. They need to have some kind of passion for a business niche. They need to be entrepreneurial or business minded. They need to have some networking skills and they need to have some real world business experience. Now, you wrap all of that together into a personal essay, a professional resume, and a really good SAT, ACT score, and then sometimes for our top tier programs, a personal interview. Now I've been through this, so I know how to package this. I know how to achieve this, and so and I know how to build our program to to gear our students to be right here. So I want you to let's plant a flag in this presentation right here that these are the variables that our program must have if we are to build a pipeline for our students to get where we want them to be. Now, our pipeline starts even earlier, K through 10, and we're going to circle back and we're going to use our students here who we've fired up. Uh, they're going to be creating presentations and they're going to be doing some real world business experience, and we're going to use them to come out to our K through 10 classroom environments and give presentations, and we're going to get these students fired up. And guess what? That feeds our business program here, and so that feeds this, and that creates this pipeline. So this is the pipeline, but so that's how it goes. But I want you to pay special attention to these variables here because I'm gonna go into depth here about how we build these into the program starting this September. So this September, I'll be teaching a course called Business Information Applications course. Now, I'm going to start the course like this. I'm going to walk in day one and I'm going to tell them about a project that I did for a company called CSI. CSI is Cardiovascular Systems Incorporated. They're an amazing company just north of the Twin Cities on 694. Now, what do they do? So CSI looks at this problem in human beings. blocked arteries. Now, blocked arteries is a big deal. It affects 12 million people in the US every single year. And if left untreated, it leads to cardiovascular diseases and strokes, really powerful, devastating diseases. Um, and those diseases are the number one cause of death in Americans. So, from an ethical standpoint, CSI is doing a great service to people in the world and Americans by coming up with technologies that solve this for us. From a business perspective, CSI is doing amazing for themselves because they're in a business that is you can see has a lot of customers that are willing to pay a lot to avoid devas- really devastating diseases. And so they're not alone. Whenever you have something as devastating and popular as this, you have a lot of competition. So you can see that there are a lot of solutions out there. Medtronic has a couple solutions. Boston Scientific has a couple solutions. And so there's a whole market out there, a global market out there called the atherectomy device market. Okay, so CSI brought me on to do some market research to say, hey, where do we want to introduce a medical device? Eh, oh, So so they had a medical device they were thinking about launching. They wanted to know, hey, what what markets do we enter? So, do we enter just in America? Do we enter in America and Europe and Asia? Do we enter all at once, and do we enter in phases, etc.? What device categories do we compete with? Do we go for the laser category or the knife category? What value proposition are we going to be presenting to surgeons and asking them to change their habits to choose this product over the others? Big questions and very consequential. We're talking hundreds of millions of dollars of investment. How much, and speaking of money, how much financing do we need to launch this product? And because this is a medical device, what regulatory thresholds do we need to meet? And so they brought me on to do market research to answer some of these questions and give recommendations to help steer this product launch. So I went out and I did a bunch of market research and um, brought back some recommendations to the company. And some of the stuff I found and some of the stuff I created over pulling together different research, and I was able to, with a team, present some of my findings, and um, so uh, that was really exciting. And so as you can see, um, this is something that I'm going to lead the class with as a perfect example um, of a business, a medical device market research, and an exciting project that when you get into business in a Fortune 500 company, this is the kind of project that you get to do, and the kind of decision making that you get to make, and you get to change people's lives and make a lot of money doing it. Okay, so okay, so we're still in business information applications. That was just day one. I'm getting them fired up about the topic. Now, assignment one for them, oops, I'm sorry, assignment one for them is going to be corporate awareness. So I'm going to have them go out and look at this list of corporations that I showed you. I'm going to have them choose one of these and then do a little bit of research on one of these corporations, and then using one of our office software programs, uh, create a little presentation about it. And so they'll do just a little bit of research, creating a little bit of corporate awareness. Okay, project one, they're going to take that corporation that they chose, and they're going to do a deep dive on a product or service from that company. So if they were lucky enough to choose 3M, they're going to have a million crazy fun products that they get to choose from that are literally life-saving and so forth. And so here, where they're going to do is they're going to be able to what I'm going to encourage them to do and show them how to do is use LinkedIn to network with the product manager of their company. So hopefully we're going to be able to communicate with the product manager of the product or service of this company. That's going to be really powerful because now they're going to have informational interviews with their product managers, and that's going to be all rolled up into a PowerPoint presentation. That's really cool. Okay, project two is going to be some market research and a product launch presentation. So we're going to simulate the product launch scenario that I did when I was working with CSI. We're going to simulate that through a business simulation that I give them. And it's going to be kind of a case study simulation that they're going to work in teams to accomplish. Now, they're going to work with the business librarian and some other resources to do that market research, um, and put together their team's recommendations and market research, and then they're going to ultimately give a go no go launch decision and some other recommendations, and they're going to make a formal presentation to a committee. Now that's powerful because that presentation, uh, we can again use that formal presentation to turn around and use that as marketing for the CPA program as a whole. So they could give this to ninth and 10th graders, eighth and ninth grade, eighth graders, and so forth, and build up some excitement for our program as a whole. Now, what skills are they learning in just now? They're learning all of our Office suite, right? I'm going to teach them Excel and the Google Docs and Word and PowerPoint, all this stuff. We might even be able to get into a little bit of Tableau and Power BI. This is data analytics and data visualization. And then from a business skills, foundations of marketing, business analytics, and professional presentations. Not to mention, we're going to be building out some resumes and so forth. So this is, we're going to be reading some cases, case studies, and so forth. So this is kind of how I'm thinking about business information applications. Now, remember that we are driving towards getting these students to be ready uh, to apply for competitive business schools if they want. Now, mind you, they may come into this and realize that they want to go into something else. Great, but this can gear them up to joining a competitive business program or a competitive college program anywhere. If it's engineering or anything like that, there's a lot of overlap here. Okay, so then we're going to launch into social media marketing. Now, what's really crazy about this is notice that I've grounded them in the good work of these corporations. I've grounded them in the powerful work of these corporations and the altruistic work of these corporations. Now, when we roll into social media marketing, we're going to tie social media marketing into that kind of altruistic work. I'm not going to teach them social media marketing so that you can become the next influencer on YouTube. No, I'm teaching them social media marketing so that they can help companies like this become more effective at being altruistic. So that is the context in which I want to teach social media marketing. I don't want I don't want to teach social media marketing in a way that is shallow and narcissistic. I want to teach it in a way that uh, that connects students to the good work that our companies are doing. So, what are the technical skills that our students are going to be learning? They're going to be learning how to create an online marketing strategy, understand the social media platforms. That's the ones you know. That's Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Google, etc. Really powerfully, they're going to learn how to use SEO, search engine optimization techniques to get their web pages found in Google searches. They're really powerful. They're going to create ads. They're actually going to use Facebook Ad Manager and they're going to create ads and they're going to analyze marketing results. This is data analytics. So they're going to send out marketing results. They're going to get some back, and then they're going to adjust their marketing spend. Now I'm going to simulate this, so it's not going to they're not going to spend any money, but I'll simulate it, but they'll be able to calculate cost per click, cost per view, etc. Now, again, we that these are the technical skills, but what we're going to do is we're going to ground this in real world applications. So I'm going to go out to small businesses around St. Paul, and I'm going to connect with them, and we're going to work with these small businesses to to make recommendations about implementing social media marketing strategies for them. So we're going to have the students do business interviews with these small businesses to understand the small business uh, the small business in general, understand its brand identity. Um, we are going to create multi-channel marketing strategies for the company, and then we're going to present these strategy recommendations to the company. That's powerful. Uh, that's real world social media marketing experiences for these students, and that's really great. So um, now Now, there's in the Twin Cities, there is a really rich entrepreneurship community. So these are, I want to point out that there are something called business accelerators, and right now there are 9 located in the Twin Cities, and these are spaces for entrepreneurs to launch businesses. Now, not anybody can get into one of these business accelerators. You have to pitch your way to gain entrance into the accelerator, and often seed funding comes with your entrance into here. And these are places for um, like venture capitalists kind of swarm around here, and they're looking for the next big thing that they can invest in, and so entrepreneurs want to gain entrance into here. And so what I want to do is I want to get our students to be um, uh, becoming a part of the community of entrepreneurs in the Twin Cities. That means we can be doing things like sitting on the pitch committees that listen to all the entrepreneur pitch their ideas to gain entrance into these different accelerators. And then the pitch committees decide, um, of the 13 entrepreneurs that just pitched their ideas, only 5 are getting in. And which 5 are we taking and why? And so how amazing would it be if our students were sitting on those pitch committees? Um, so here's a perfect example. Go for Angel. The managing director is Dave Russick. Um, they manage, so they've invested almost $16 million in 50 startup companies in the last 7 years, and they hold bi-monthly pitch meetings. And this is all local. So my goal is to get our students sitting on these pitch committees. How powerful would that be for our students? And if we circle all the way back to here, th- this is, and we look at what it takes to get into these competitive business programs, Carlson School of Management, St. Thomas, even more competitive universities like that. This is exactly where we want to be right here. And so, lastly, what I'll say, oops, I got out of it, but I'll just click here. My goal is to grow the program. So here's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to partner with our work-based coordinators. I know that's a new position, and these guys are going to be really eager to make uh, cool partnerships. And so they're the first people I'm going to go to network with. Um, I, I am going to work with after school enrichment programs. I know that they have them in junior highs. I'm going all the way there. Um, and again, like I said, I'm going to have our current students give market research presentations to our ninth and 10th grade students. And then that I think is going to be just the accelerator because these ninth and 10th graders, the following year and the following year and the following year, they're going to be really excited about this program. And that's what we want. We want to grow it from the ground up. We call it pull marketing. They're going to be begging to get into this program, and that's what we want. Also, I'm going to be going school to school, given these kind of uh, this kind of presentation and getting students really jazzed up about it. So that's what I'm really excited about. Okay, so that's from the kind of teaching side. From the administrative side, um, uh, my understanding is that I will be administering a few different programs. One is Genesis Works, other is 3M's. Um, shoot, I was in this program and I'm just forgetting the name. STEM program. Um, I'm very familiar with the 3M STEM program. I've put multiple students through it myself back when I was teaching at Open School, and I was a teacher that went through the teacher version of it one summer. And so I'm very familiar with that program, and I would be eager to take on the administration of that. Genesis Works. I familiarized myself with that program about 2 months ago. I did an informational interview with one of their lead instructors, um, and um, and so I got quite a bit of knowledge about how the program works, and so I'm kind of up to speed on how that all works. I'm also very excited to take on that challenge. It sounds like is there can be some work to be done in terms of um, once a student signs up, it sounds like there's some attrition that happens when a student signs up, and then uh, maybe they lose interest before the program starts. It's so one thing that I think I could do as an administrator is keep that excitement going from the moment they signed up to when the program starts, because I know how students are, especially when they're 15, 16 years old. You got to keep that excitement and that interest going. That takes two things. One, that takes kind of a continuous path of communication with the student and with the family. Oftentimes, winning the family over can be the nudge can be the foundation for the student to follow through with it. Um, so I think both of those programs are extremely powerful. um, and for student development, and I would be eager to take them on from an administrative perspective. So to summarize, I think that this CPA business program, I think that I can take this on. I think that I can not only reshape it, but launch it in a way that will grow it and have students really excited about it and connected to the community in a way that um, that will um, um, you know make some news and make and make uh, and make it popular. And then in term, like I said, from the administrative perspective, I'm very confident that I can take both of those on and run with them. So that is where I'll stop. Thank you for the interview, and you know, please respond with email questions if you have them.